Hey guys, so I know some of you are having a bit of trouble in this module, especially dealing with Motion Builder. So I want to show you an alternative method to do everything that we did this week. First, you open Blender. You don't need to install, it's just on the folder that I give to you. And then, first of all, you're gonna delete the default cube. This is kind of like a tradition. And we're gonna install some plugins. It's called addons on Blender, but it's the same thing. You come in Edit, Preferences, Add-ons, and click Install. So you want to grab this, this folder's path, or you can just find here, but I find this way easier. And I suggest you put on bookmarks, so every time you need, you just click here and you go to here. And we're gonna install a Mixamo plugin and an Unreal plugin. So you just click on it, double click or click on install and activate it. So this creates this tab, okay, and I'm gonna use it later. Then we install the send to Unreal, install, and again we activate it, and this creates okay, yeah, whatever. This creates this part that we're also gonna see later. So now we go to Mixamo, and I'm not gonna show this whole part because you know how to do it, but you choose your animations and you download it. First file you're gonna download with skin, and the subsequent animations you don't need it. You can put without skin. So the file is lighter. There's no problem in putting with skin, but it's kind of, you don't need to, so yeah, whatever. So going back, we're gonna import our animations. Oh, sorry. You can File, Import, FBX. Then I go to this folder and I put my animations on this folder. And as I said, this one has the skin and the others one don't. So I'll import this one, and I can do all at once, but I want to show you something first, so I will import just this one. Don't worry about this. You just press import FBX, and voila, it's imported. Let me do something here to turn on my key pressing, so you can see it here, so you know what I'm pressing. And okay, our guy is animated, but the time the time is not right. So if you press Ctrl and you can put the timeline to the last frame, or you can just go here and type like 61 and that's it. Now it's cycling correctly. Okay, doesn't matter that much, but just so we can see the animation as it's supposed to be. And now we're gonna use the Mixamo plugin for creating the control rig, because this is just the skeleton. So you press this button, press OK, and that's it. It's created and it's working. And you can even, okay, so in Blender you have the object mode for doing the global transforms into the skin, the rig, and you for manipulating the animation itself, you have to go to the pose mode. So you press Ctrl Tab and it goes to pose mode, or you can come here and put pose mode, and voila, now you can use the bones. So let's say I don't want the arms into IK, and I select them both, and I can put snap animation IKFK. So this turns the whole animation from IK to FK, or vice versa. And it takes a bit, and okay, now it's FK. No, is it? Okay, this one. I think this you have to do one at a time, but okay. Yeah, now they're both FK. So yeah. Okay, so I have the idle right now, and I want to put the walk and one of the attacks. So I go back to object mode. You don't need to, but whatever. I'm gonna import FBX, and I want to select the roundhouse kick and the walking. Again, don't worry about this, just import it. I can put them to the side. Okay, so now this guy is in idle, this guy is walking, and this guy is kicking. Okay, how animations work, like different individual objects in animations work inside of Blender. Each of one are called actions. So if I open the dope sheet, to do so I can click. You see that the cursor turns into a cross. I go to the edge, I click and drag, and I just duplicated this window. And now I want that to be the dope sheet. So I press here and I change to dope sheet. Okay, so in the dope sheet, this is for like everything on the scene, but I want to edit the action. So I put on action editor. And on top of that, right now it's everything is showing, like from every character, but I want to show just the selected one. So I click here. So now if I have okay, it's the last one selected. So if I select this one, I see the action for this guy. So the time range, it's set to the idle. That's why this guy is not moving when he ends, because it has like a different time. But it doesn't matter that much. Okay, so now I want to copy those animations for this guy. And I could, if the rig was the same, for instance, this guy right now he's walking. If I want him to kick, I just change the action. Which one is it? Maybe this one? Yeah. So now he's kicking too. But since this is a control rig, I can't just copy it. I have to bake. So I go back to the walk. I think it's this one. Yep. I select this guy. And again, we're using the Mixamo plugin to do so. So how we do that? I grab the picker and I select this guy and I do apply animation to control rig. So it created a new action for this guy. It's called action 0.003 because it's probably the third action that there is in the file. So I'm gonna change it for 00 underline walk. You're gonna understand later why I put 00, but yeah, let's go. And the previous one was the idle, so I think it's this one. Yeah, this one is the idle. So I will put 00 underline idle. And now I'll copy this one. So again, I change this, I grab this, and I put on apply animation to control rig. And voila, it created a new action. So I put this to 00 underline kick. And okay, that's it. Now I have the 3 animations that I need. One important thing in Blender is for file management, when you have, for instance, an action that nobody's using, for instance, like those two, like nobody is using it right now, this guy is just using the idle. When you close the file and opens again, when you close the file, it deletes, not delete, but don't save the actions that nobody's using. So for it not to happen, you press this shield to make it a fake user. So when you see here, there's an F before the action. And we're gonna do that for all of those we created. Okay, so now all of that had fake users. And those ones don't need, because I do want them to be excluded. I can just leave as is, or I can remove it and close the file and open again to delete them, so they're not in the list. Or I can just leave them here if I want, but I like to keep things organized. So you can also, instead of closing and open, you can just come here on Blender File, Actions, select the ones that you don't want and delete them. You really don't need to do that, but whatever, I like to do it. So now they're not moving because I just deleted their actions. And this guy has no action selected. So if I put idle, it's idling. He can kick and he can walk. Okay, so let's delete those two. We don't need them anymore. And okay, now I have one guy with every animation. So now we want to edit those actions. To do so, we're gonna use the non-linear animation editor. That is quite the same as the story in Motion Builder. So to do so, we're gonna open a new tab here, and we're gonna choose non-linear animation. And just for the sake of organization, I'm gonna do it like that. And oh shit, what did I do? Nope. Gonna a new one, and here I want my graph editor. Okay, yeah. So how does it work? There are three types of things that we're going to use here. And those are the actions, that is the thing I already told you about, like the idle, for example. And we're gonna put this, oh, let me just delete this. Okay, so when I select an action, it appears here. Okay, so this is the action. If I change it to kick, it's the kick, and so on, so on. So for instance, the walk is the walk, and it has the length that is supposed to be. So to edit them in a non-destructive way, we want to turn this action into a strip. So we push down the action, and now this thing is not more an action. It is a strip inside the nonlinear editor. So we have actions that are turned into strips, and right now it's quite the same, but later we're going to edit them and apply more stuff on top. But they're basically the same, but with more options. And as I push it down the strip, it created a new track. So here are the tracks, and it doesn't mean much, it's just like a different slot. And these are the strips. I can have multiple strips with different actions. For example, like I have the walk. If I want to put the idle, I just open the idle, you see. And if I push down, now it's a strip. I just delete that. And right now, I want to edit this walk, okay? So first of all, I want this to be the same length as the animation, so I put here 31. So now it's cycling. The Mixamo animations are already quite good, and they do start in the path through position. So there, oh sorry, it's not 31, it's 32. So our first and last frame are the same. But let's imagine that it's not right. So let me quickly screw this up to show you how to correct it. I go to pose mode, and let's say I want this foot on this part to be in a different position. So why not maybe Y location? And I just want this to be wrong. So okay, yeah, now it's wrong. Okay, you see it snapped. So now we can correct it. Let me just see one thing. It's not idle. It's I don't want anything. Okay, yeah, you see, since I edit the action itself, the strip updated because it's using the, if I open this one, it's using here strip. It's using the action that is the walk, 0, 0 walk. To be clearer, I want to change this to walk without the 0, 0. So this is the strip that is called walk, and this is the action that is called walk. So if I edit the action, it changes here because it's using the action, but it doesn't go the other way around. So we're gonna edit this, and it's not gonna mess up the action. So it's quite a safe pipeline because you know that you're never messing up the action itself. You're just editing it. So okay, now I want to create a new action that is going to be the modification on the walk. So I'll call this 01 underline walk correction. Okay, why I like to put 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, so I know with each step of the pipeline I'm doing, it changes absolutely nothing. It's just a matter of organization that I like to do, but feel free to not do like that. And okay, right now, if I edit this, it's gonna replace the animation, quite like animation layers. But I don't want that. I want them to be combined. So wherever I change here, it's gonna affect it's basically gonna mix with the underneath, and maybe I just show rather than try to explain. So okay, right now I don't have any keyframes because the animation is on this strip. So I want to select all. I can do like that, or I just press A and I press I to insert keyframe. So now this pose is saved, exactly the same pose as here is saved on the top strip, and right now it changes nothing because I just saved that pose. So this foot on the last pose, it's wrong, and I went to correct it. But if I just correct here, it's gonna affect the whole animation. So I want to choose a frame that is not that bad. Like for instance, okay, here is already bad. So maybe here might not be that bad. And I press Y. Okay, I can select the whole thing or just the foot because the foot is the only thing that is wrong. But right now it doesn't matter that much. And then I want to correct this frame. So I want it to be exactly as the first. So I go to the first, I select it all, I press Ctrl C, I go to the last frame and I press Ctrl V. And that's it. I just need I can activate the auto keying, but yeah, I just press I here. And right now, it's fixed. Maybe the knee is popping a bit, I can fine tune it, but it's working. But let's say I don't like that his arms are moving too much for some reason, and I want to edit them. So I can do in the same strip, but I would prefer to let this strip be the correction for the foot and create a new one to fix the arms. So I push it down. So right now it's just an action, and if I push down, it becomes a strip, and I can have a new action for the arms. So I create a new action. It's already on combine because I changed it here. So okay, let's start. Let's say that in this frame it's okay. So I can put that in, and I can go to the last one, and I can save that as well. And I just want when his arms are in the further position to not be that much. So I just put it down a bit and I save. And I go to the other side as well, and I grab this guy, and I want it to not be that much, and I save it. And you see right now I'm saving just one bone, not the whole rig. But if I select everything. I can see that there is the other arm frame here and this arm here. And if I turn off the selection, it's always display the whole thing. Okay, let's see how it is. Yeah, okay, the guy is moving the arms less. And I can go on and do a lot of modifications, but let's say we're happy with the result we got. So I turned that into a strip as well. So now I have 3 strips to correct this animation. Like, this is the end result. If I change, if I disabilitate this, the arms will move more. And if I disabilitate this, the foot is gonna bug again. Where is it? Yeah, okay, it's bugging. And to turn the whole thing into an action, I come here. I need to be on pose mode. So if you're in object mode for some reason, you change for pose mode. You go pose and animation, bake action. So you select the range you want. I want one less frame, so when it cycles, it doesn't repeat the last frame that is exactly the same as the first. And I deselect only selected bones. I can just select everything and let this be, but because I want the whole thing to be baked. And that's it. I click OK. And now I have a new action called action.001. So I want this to be 02 underline walk. So this is my, let's say, definitive walk that I want to export later. And I press fake user, so it saves this action. And okay, now I want to show you another cool feature that you can use for editing the actions. I want to remove everything here, and I can even remove the tracks just for the sake of organization again. And I want now to edit the kick. So the kick go from 0 to 76. So I can change here, or I press Ctrl and it changes to this time. Okay, so in video games, you don't want, like, if you press a button, you want the character to execute the action as fast as he can. Otherwise, it's gonna feel dragged and strange. So, like, if I press here, it takes like more than a second for the guy to hit wherever I'm aiming for. So you want that to be way faster than that. And later you can do the animation a bit slower just to compensate. So how can we do that? As I mentioned, in strips you have additional editing resources. So let's use them. Right now it's an action, but I want it to be a strip. So now it's a strip. And in here we have this resource that the strip has a 0 to 1, 1 to 76 time, okay? But I can animate that. So how do I do that? On frame 1, I put 1, and I can frame that. Okay, so in 1, it will play the first frame, and on the last frame, it will play the 76th frame, and I keyframe that. And that animated time is shown here on the graph editor. If I click it twice, it will select the whole thing. And if I press the point on the numpad, it's gonna frame it all. But by default, it does curved interpolation. Maybe you want it to be linear, so you can press the right mouse button, interpolation mode, and linear. And okay, as I mentioned, I want the kick to land faster. Let's say about Why not on the 10th frame? Okay, so it's about less than a half a second to hit the target. So what I do is I find out which frame the land kicks, the kick lands, about 30. Okay, it's pretty rounded. And I come here and I write 30 down and I put the keyframe on. Again, I can turn on the auto key for that. But right now it's linear and it can be a bit strange, so I'll go back to Bezier, because why not? And right now, if I play this, it kicks very fast and go back like slower, even slower than the animation used to be before, because since I'm going here faster, it has less animation to play on the rest. So we can maybe edit that. Maybe 10 is a bit too much. Maybe if I put it on 15, because, yep, okay. And we want this to be, oh shit, we want this to be more, okay, I need to turn that off, more linear. So I can do that. And okay, now this guy is gonna kick, and I want this as well to be more linear. Okay, maybe in the end it is as linear as it was before, but okay, now he's hitting the target way faster and going back slow. Maybe too slow. I can reduce the clip duration by changing the end. Instead of being 76 frame, maybe on let's say 15. Why not? So I grab this and put it here and make it linear again. Okay, so now he's doing the whole thing faster, as a video game should be. So, but since I already arrived at the 16th frame on the 15th, I don't need this last part, because it's nothing is happening really. So I can come here on the strip start and end, and I just put on 15, because my animation is happening on 15 frames. And right now when I can also put 15 here, so my animation cycles. And there we go. So okay, so now this strip is called kick. Oh, okay, so it inherited the action name, but I actually don't want this strip to have the 00. It's just kick. See, here's the action and here's the strip. So let's say I'm happy with this and I want to export it. So I have my kick and I have to put here the walk and the idle as well. So I just put here idle and I push it back, push it down. So I have the idle and I want to rename that to idle. And I want to open as well the walk and push it down. And I want this to call walk. And okay, I want to export those 3 animations. How I do that? Remember the plugin that we installed about sending to Unreal Engine? Okay, so we go to Unreal Engine, like open your project window. And for the export work, you have to enable something on the edit project settings. Okay, and you're gonna search here for Python, because it's the programming language that allows Blender to send the assets to Unreal. And you want to check this box, enable remote execution. Yeah, because it's another software, so I want them to talk to each other. So just put in true and you can close it. Now I have my project open and I have my strips ready, so I can send to Unreal. I just need one detail. Remember that I told, maybe I didn't, but if I don't, when you install the plugin, the plugin puts the pipeline option here, and it creates this collection called export. So I need to put everything that I want to export here. I can just drag it like this, the armature and the mesh, or I can also go to object mode, select everything, press M, and put on export. So now it's here, both the armature and the character. So now we go to pipeline. You have to go to the settings on export, FBX export, and you want to check this box, only the form bones. Why? Because the control rig has a lot of bones for you to do a lot of stuff like IK and things like that. But in a game engine, you don't want that. You want just the bones that are actually deforming the mesh. If you want your material and textures and everything to go there, you have to save your file. So yeah, okay, wherever, call this tutorial save. Okay, and right now our textures are embedded in the file, so I want them to go out of the file, because that's how usually game engines work, like with different paths for different file types. So I come in external data and I choose unpack resources, and I use file record directory, the first option. Okay, what does it do? It creates this folder called textures with the whole PBR textures for our character. And I go pipeline, export, push assets. And when I come here, it loads. Okay, I can open here. And okay, now our character has its material, and the animations are here. And that's it, guys. The animations are here, and the whole process is done. Like and subscribe, and wherever. Bye.